Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of World Talks here on TVP World. I'm your host, Benjamin Lee, and please join me and my guests on this next interview. Now, as Poland prepares for another international football tournament, the national team carries more than just athletic hopes. It embodies shifting notions of identity, pride, and media influence. So how does a squad of 11 become a mirror of 38 million? And what do global audiences really see? Joining us today on TVP World to unpack this sociological layer of a Polska reprezentacja is Bartosz Kicior, a sociologist and media expert at SWPS University. Now, his research bridges sports, media, and the performance of national identity. Hello, sir, and welcome to TVP World.
Hello, thank you for having me.
So before we dive into the meat and potatoes, we do have a soundbite statement made by one of the Polish football player. Let's take a look and give it a little bit of context.
So there is an ongoing conflict between the manager of the national team, Mr. Probierz, who is a coach, and one of the main star, Robert Lewandowski. I mean, the main star, top one player right now, who actually officially resigned and stated that he will not play for national team any longer, as long as Mr. Probierz is manager of the team. And this decision was a consequence of him. I mean, Mr. Lewandowski's not coming for one of the qualification games, and I mean, he changed the decision in the last minute, but that was not convincing for the manager, who decided to pass the captain role to another player, and that was the reason for Mr. Lewandowski to resign from playing for national team for now.
Okay, this is for me, Lewandowski is a very household name when it comes to Polish football scene, and I think a lot of people draw that equivalence as well. Even for our international audience abroad, I think this name really rings a bell when it comes to the name being one of the most highest Polish achievers as well. How's this whole drama going to affect the way, the Polish society kind of approach football as a whole?
I would even say that he is right now the most popular Pole in the world, to be exact. How society perceives that, this is a very interesting issue, because according to the theory of sociology of sport, one of the main role of the national sport is to bring people together, to associate them and to build the identity. And once there is a commotion concerning the national team, this identity, it kind of breaks down. So it's fallen apart. So people right now, we expect them to be divided between one and the other side. But what we see right now, as far as we are concerned, the society is backing Lewandowski's side.
Okay, because I was about to ask, when it comes to this divide, this polarization, what are the arguments from both sides of the aisle, and what's really kind of driving the divide? Because the way I see it, these are both sports fans, and I would assume that they both support Poland and support their national team, but this whole thing is driving a rift apart.
Yeah, the problem with national football team is that it is not per se national. It is not funded by taxpayers. So it is being governed, managed by private association, Polish Football National Association, which is not connected by the money with the taxpayers. So they can decide on their own who is a manager, who is a coach, who is not. And that is some issue which has its consequences, because people cannot make a pressure on, like the association. We can just make a pressure as a fans, as a community of fans, not as taxpayers. So we can say that we have football fans and national team fans all over, but there is a matter of interest as well, of business. And there is also this issue of strong personality of both gentlemen. So the manager is trying to state his station, and he's trying to stand his ground, and he's trying to manage the team with rather let's say firm way. On the other hand, we have, as you said, the top one football player in the country, and he has his firm personality as well. So it is like a clash of those two personalities. So yeah, well, we all are fans. We all support the national team. But sometimes the interest and sometimes the personality comes in.
Yeah, who would have imagined, managing a whole team of high-performing athletes come with some kind of macho personality as well. Now, speaking of some of the footballers, we do have a statement given by Jan Bednarek, one of the Polish football players, talking about this polarization that we talked about earlier. Let's roll the tape and see how we interpret what he says.
I think we've been polarized as a society, divided. This is a bad moment for us Poles. Really, what we do here is only playing football, but it matters to so many. To represent the country is the greatest honor. I think as a nation, as a team, footballers and fans, we should create a supporting community that will help us, the players, succeed.
No, I think the way a lot of people do see these sports as an honor to the nation as well. Do you think that there's also perhaps some sort of responsibility for these, be it player, be it coaches, to also take that into consideration when it comes to making their own decisions?
Of course, yeah. I mean, what we saw here is definitely a consequence of a pressure and stress put on a player. And yeah, it is really stressful because, as I said, the national team is some institution which is building the national spirit and the national boundary and set of those frames of us as a national group. So being a player for national team, especially being a captain for national team or being a manager, is a really stressful job to do. Yeah, I agree.
All right. Can you help us also understand how kind of this attachment to football and kind of this whole national pride, national identity kind of blends into this? How did it come to be in the first place?
There are a lot of theories about it. I mean, one of it says that is some kind of a substitute topic for us. We don't. I mean, it is really hard to be stressed all the time, daily, about our jobs, about our down-to-earth problems. Yeah. So sometimes we are just, looking the other way, and we try to observe what is going on on the sports area. So we can, for a while, not think about our everyday problems. The other theory, it says that it has its function because we, as I said, we as a society, we need something that builds us as a community and builds our identity. And of course, we have theories that says that this is a thing stated and institutionalized to keep people from being active on a political dimension. So they have, once again, some substitute to think about, not to think about, political activities and so on.
That's very interesting. It's almost like kind of a stress release valve in a way as well. And I think this actually makes me feel like this is a lot more impactful than meets the eye because, well, like I said, a lot of people are already bogged down by their day-to-day lives, the kind of polarization we see in politics, and sports is sort of the retreat to not have to think about all of this. And a lot of times it's also something that unifies people instead of kind of splitting people. So now introducing polarization and this drama into sports in and of itself is almost like throwing a wrench into the machine, throwing a division into something that's supposed to unite. Do you see that actually kind of exacerbating the issue and perhaps even causing further polarization within society?
This is exactly what makes people angry, this thing that we cannot control it, and what we see is a clash of interests, which is supposed to be one interest. Yeah, I mean, we perceive the national team as something that keeps us together and should be built on this national spirit and as you said, on unity. Once the conflict kicks in, we are having this distraction and something that I mean, it drives us away from this one model way that we should be on, and there is this other issue. Right now, sport professionals, they are becoming new heroes to look upon, new models. So they are becoming our heroes, and we want them to be crystal, to be always, perfect.
Yeah.
And once we see something like this, like a conflict, there is something wrong with it, with this image. So we are getting angry on whoever is spoiling this image.
Yeah, so where do you think things go from here? Do you think that these message that we're trying to convey here will eventually kind of reach the ears of those who are embroiled in these controversies, or do you think that the strong personality and personal interest is going to keep this thing going and perhaps, well, drive more divide down the line?
That is a very interesting issue, because what we see right now is the continuation of this conflict. So people expected the association to get rid of the manager, but they decided to keep him in and to negotiate between those two, let's say, environments, those two camps right now. So we will see the other parts of this conflict, of the situation, that's for sure. And I don't know how it will resolve, but we also have to remember that there are serious money in it as well, because of the sponsors, contracts and stuff. And Robert Lewandowski is a name, as you said, and is a name which is a really good leverage when it comes to talking with potential sponsors. So they cannot just cancel him.
Right.
So I am sure we will see some solution, but when? I don't know.
Nothing like money to make things even more complicated than it already is. But in the meantime, thank you so much for your input and insight. Really appreciate it. And thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Cheers. And thank you for tuning into this edition of World Talks. But for more news, update, and commentary, please stay tuned to TVP World.